people are peeing their pants and calling it fashion. But why are people going gaga over these gag-worthy pre-stained items? Today, I and two of my bravest friends are wearing them ourselves in public to find out. Cue the waterworks. Hello Internet, welcome to Style Theory, where we get to the bottom of fashion's dirtiest mysteries. And speaking of bottoms, why exactly am I wearing an unfortunate butt stain at one of the busiest and most famous malls in California? Well, it all started when I saw this news headline a few months ago. $600 pee-stained designer jeans sell out. Excuse me, what is going on? But it only gets weirder from here. Not only are people paying top dollar for pre-peed jeans, they're buying sweat-stained tops for upwards of $350. You could pay less for a gym membership to sweat-stain the clothes you already own all by yourself. The most pure form of DIY. I am so sorry. This episode is already starting off as a wild journey, friends. We are going to be slipping and sliding our way to solving why anyone, would want to wear such embarrassing clothes. That's what they are. Clothing that permanently recreates one of the most dreaded experiences a person could have, soiling yourself in public. So what's the real appeal of spending so much money, to wear these kind of things IRL? What better way to get to the bottom of this unusual fashion trend than trying it myself? Because my body and brain are nothing if not vessels for weird fashion science experiments. Think of it as a continuation to our quest to understand weird fashion trends that started with our edible underwear episode. I want to crack the code in our brains to what really makes some people want to wear oopsie items, because the rest of us are confused.
So we're here at the Grove to test some embarrassing clothing, but I'm not gonna do it alone. I have the lovely ladies from Junbeam joining me. Hello.
Hi. Meet Kat and Ella, my two emotional support besties for the day. I actually did a video over on their channel guessing people's underwear, so you could say we're prepared for whatever weird or embarrassing turns today may bring. Though, Kat was getting a little ahead of the experiment.
So obviously, you have some experience with stained clothing with coffee stains.
Well, I think when you love a piece so much, you cannot give it away. I love this sweatshirt so deeply, and this is actually a wine stain.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to assume.
But that's not the type of stain we'll be wearing today. We are going to spend a day wearing a custom set of bodily stained items made by yours truly. Not that way.
I felt like these are completely genuine.
Yes. Listen, I tried real hard. Many drinks were had.
All jokes aside, since the original items were either sold out or a bit outside our budget for this episode, I took some of our pre-owned goodies and broke out my cosplay distressing skills. If, for some reason, you want to DIY yourself a set of these iconic looks, a mix of water, clear nail polish, and vegetable glycerin make a great bodily fluid alternative for permanent stains.
But we're gonna do this together. It's sisterhood at its finest. It's a sweaty, stained sisterhood.
Sisterhood of the traveling stain.
Oh my gosh. Sisterhood of the traveling stains. That is what we are doing today.
Then we headed to the perfect location to change into our fashion finest, the public restrooms. When it came to what we would be wearing today, we wanted to cover all of our sweaty bases, front, back, and sideways. Welcome to our restroom runway. Kat got the honor of trying out the iconic jeans that started this whole stain spiral, styling our DIY version of Jordan Luca's pea-stained jeans. The British-Italian brand debuted the original pair during their autumn-winter 2023 runway at Milan Fashion Week, though they didn't hit internet stardom until April of 2024 when they were covered by the New York Post. People weren't exactly raving about the wet look, but Jordan Luca quickly sold out of the remaining inventory. Unfortunately for this video, and you if you want to own a pair, the brand said that despite the unexpected success, they aren't planning to make any more. But I think we did a good job recreating the essence of the originals, and they pair nicely with some epic pit stains. Ella's outfit, on the other hand, was inspired not only by the literal sweatshirts made by the Parisian brand LGN, but this top by a London-based brand called Di Pesta. Di Pesta has gained a cult following thanks to its commitment to its signature wet look. While we may not be creating the specific look of that top, we are shedding light on another underrepresented population, people suffering from underboob sweat. Listen, they deserve a voice too, y'all. And for me, well, I wanted to bring something new to the function, something that so far I haven't seen anyone try to send down their runway. Since Ella and Kat had the front covered, I thought I would bring up the rear, literally. Introducing the Swamp Butt Romper romper, a Style Theory original embarrassing item, with added pit stains to really sell that I am a sweaty queen to everyone around me. Now, I promise I didn't ruin any straight from the store items. These have all seen previous battles. If you saw our GT Live at VidCon show, you'll have seen this romper before, and how it got covered in cake and a number of other foods. Let's just say it never fully recovered.
All right, let's go have some fun.
Yay!
And already people were starting to notice. As we practiced our model walks and poses to get into that high fashion mindset, the other shoppers around us were confused to say the least. They couldn't decide if they were disgusted.
You like my pants? No.
Or intrigued. They were even whipping out their phones to take videos of us as we filmed our outfit of the days. Though one thing was certain, our liquid looks were becoming the highlights of their day, for better or worse.
I was having like a little model moment, and one person was like, I like your dress, but the person she was with was like, double take. Definitely not vibing with
No.
it. Did not understand the assignment.
Kat was seeing similar reactions.
Every single person that passed was like,
For me though, it was a little different. As we walked, I could see the heads turning to do a double take at our sweaty sisterhood, and then get surprised by my unexpected backside stain. It was like a weird cherry on top of a very unfortunate sundae. It was unexpected, and it made them feel like it was okay to stop and stare in a way that most people would find rude in any other circumstance. And to be honest, it was kinda weird. I'm not new to wearing unusual things in public. I've done cosplays, photo shoots, worn wigs, and I've even been blindfolded on Santa Monica Pier to sniff my coworkers' armpits. My job's weird. But I've made it my professional mission to get rid of my sense of shame. But today felt different. I wasn't embarrassed. I was almost empowered by the fact that I was wearing something meant to make me feel uncomfortable. And Ella was feeling something similar.
In second grade, I peed my pants, and I remember walking to the nurse's office with like the wet pants, and like she made me dig through the lost and found bin to like change my pants.
Not the lost and found.
It was tragic. It was truly tragic.
Did you just not make it?
We were told not to ask any questions, and that's why I'm excited to be here today and like co-heal the trauma.
It was freeing to take the accident out of the equation, which seems to be in line with what the designers were going for in the first place. Jordan Bowen and Luca Marchetto, the designers behind Jordan, Luca, and those infamous P jeans, have a history of unusual aesthetics in their designs. Sideways zippers, triple waistbands, dresses that can be worn multiple ways, you get the idea. In their words, they're looking to serve a more transgressive generation with their designs, meaning, in simpler terms, that they want to shock the mainstream audience. They made the pea-stained jeans as an exploration of making underground scenes a mainstream moment. Again, in their words, they are looking to provide shock value to the people observing their clothing. Looking at other brands hopping on this trend, the motivation to shock audiences appears to be consistent. In their collection before introducing the world to literal sweatshirts, LGN sent a dozen or so Patrick Batemans down the runway in a line inspired by American Psycho. While I love a good horror-inspired moment, I am glad to not be in the front row at that show. It seems like tempting fate. For LGN designer Luis Gabriel Nochi, who says each collection he does is inspired by a book or writer, the goal was twisting the code of toxic masculinity found in the book, which does make me wonder what looks inspired his sweaty collection. I think mine was inspired by one of my favorite writers, Taylor Swift, and her song, Florida. It is the swamp butt capital of the world, after all. I should know. I grew up there. Anyway, DePetza's maternity-inspired top follows a similar pattern, with a goal of exploring intimacy and esoteric research between women and water, by making all of their models look like they just took a dip in the Grove's fountain. But when it comes down to it, the overall goal of these brands isn't just to make some questionable fashion. As it reads on DePetza's website, the aim is to combine fashion with performance art and film. You see, the end game is not just to wear the items, but to put on a show. And walking around the Grove in these Oopsie items, it did feel like we were part of some kind of performance. Wherever we went, we knew people were going to stare and react, whether we tried to draw attention or not.
I grew up in New York City, and like a lot of New York City street walking culture, like is you get catcalled.
So true.
And constantly you have eyes like spinning. So I feel like there is an element of like being accustomed to the gaze and like tuning it out.
Do you feel like this is an interesting way of kind of reversing that back on the person who's kind of giving you that attention? Because basically what you're doing here is making them feel uncomfortable, making them question what they're seeing, rather than it being about you, because you're comfortable. And so if you're comfortable, but you're making them uncomfortable, is wearing this more about what you're doing to other people than actually how you're feeling?
It does feel like it's like a little trick. You're like, oh, you're gonna stare at me while you have a fun surprise coming.
Yeah, I mean, if they're gonna look, you might as well give them a show.
When people wear a statement piece, pea-stained or not, the goal is to, well, make a statement and draw attention to yourself, which happens to lie at the core of what causes you to feel embarrassed. According to the American scientist, there are two root causes of embarrassment. The first is the anticipation of people around you reacting negatively to you, your actions, or in this case, your outfit. The other trigger is the unknown. This is the idea that you are unsure of what the result of your actions are going to be. So far today, we have been unable to anticipate how people will react to our looks, or if the response would be positive or negative. However, the difference between being self-conscious of having an IRL oopsie and wearing it as a fashion statement takes the uncertainty out of the situation and puts you in charge of your own emotional response. When it comes to what I'm wearing today, I have the power to decide if I want to be ashamed for what people might be assuming happened, or to be in on the joke of my own oopsie.
You want to know what else is a trash truck? The caboose today. Look at that.
It's a load of sweat.
This is a full load.
In the early 2000s, when fashion went from being something only seen in magazines to having to compete in an online world for the attention of the masses, designers had to embrace a new attention-grabbing tactic, the stunt. As photographer Ryan Emberley put it in an interview with Elle Canada, we live in a stunt reality. Things have gotten so performative and no one's embarrassed about anything anymore. You can be more absurd. It seems riskier, but it's really not as risky. And when it comes to spending big bucks on pre-stained clothes, to some, the price tag is worth it to be part of that stunting showcase of fashion. If you tell someone that your boob sweat dress is actually Balenciaga, suddenly their reaction becomes a lot more accepting. Obviously, you paid a premium dollar for that fake fluid, so clearly you must know something that I, the average person, do not. Suddenly, you aren't just in on the joke, you are the director of the entire show, one that is controlling the attention and assumptions of everyone around you. And that is powerful.
I feel more confident. I feel like exactly kind of what we were talking about at the beginning. You control the people that see you. You're controlling the perception. And the perception is that I peed my pants. And I know that.
Yeah.
And I like it.
Yeah.
I'm having fun.
When it comes to overcoming and owning your embarrassing moments, there are two key things these outfits help us do. One is confronting the situation head on, like Ella using these looks to heal her past trauma from peeing her pants in the 2nd grade. And the other is laughing at the silliness of this entire situation. We are 3 professional women walking around a busy mall looking like we just had one of the roughest days of our lives. And it's funny. And that's the point. The people buying these products are paying to have the power of their perception, be it good, bad, or unfortunately moist. Do I think this is going to be the next big trend of 2025? No, probably not. While it was fun to spend a day with my sisterhood of the traveling stains, I can't say I'm going to be incorporating the look into my everyday wardrobe. However, if I do ever find myself in an unfortunate situation, I now have a foolproof plan to get over the embarrassment. Just pretend it's haute couture. And to the teacher that didn't let Ella pee in 2nd grade, I have one thing to say.
Let your students go to the bathroom.
Please.
Otherwise, this is what occurs. They suddenly decide to make their trauma into fashion.
But hey, that's just a theory. A style theory. Keep looking sane. I mean sharp. Looking to learn your body shape? Click the rectangle on the screen to find out how. And I'll see you next Saturday morning.